If I started running today, here's everything I would do and what I would buy. From picking the right running shoes to structuring a plan. Here's everything you need to know to get started today. Now, if you do enjoy the video, please consider subscribing or at least drop a like because it really does help out, especially as a small channel like me. Right then, people, I have just got back from Ibiza to a delivery. I say just got back, it was about 3 weeks ago and this delivery did just come today, but I'm not quite sure where all these videos are going to go out. If you haven't already watched my half marathon vlog from Ibiza, I strongly suggest you do because it was a really good one. Plus, last weekend was actually the London Marathon, so the title of this video is pretty topical, which is always nice. Anyway, in Ibiza, I ran the half marathon. Well, actually 22 kilometers, so just over a half marathon, which explains my poor time. But last autumn, I think my first run was around October time. I could barely finish a 5K. I was huffing and puffing. So to run 22K in the heat of Ibiza was actually a pretty big deal for me. And I thought I learned quite a lot in the training process and actually during the half marathon itself, and some things that might be worth sharing. Now, one of the things I was thinking to myself during the training was, am I going to keep this up after the race? Now, the answer is probably not, but I do enjoy the odd 5 to 10K every now and then. And the shoes that I was using were these On Cloud Monsters, which served me well, but they are pretty battered now and they're not even white at all. So I thought it was about time to invest in a new pair of running shoes. So that is what is in this delivery. We've got the Nike, let me get this right, the Nike Air Tempo Next Percents. Now, these are new to me, but they are not actually brand new. I got these off Vinted. Now, it's a shoe that I've wanted for some time, but they're pretty hard to get a hold of in the UK. I think they're discontinued. At least I couldn't find anything in my size and this color. Now, the seller said he'd only worn these on 1 or 2 runs, and they do look in sick condition. Anyway, this video is about what I would do and what I would buy if I started running today. But first, let's take these bad boys for a little spin, shall we? Now, the absolute best thing you can do when starting out is get a haircut. No, actually, invest in a good pair of running shoes. Now, good doesn't necessarily mean expensive. I would recommend heading to a professional running store or shoe shop where they can do a gait analysis, which is effectively just a mapping of your foot to tell you what size and shape shoe suits you and your running style the best. Now, I know when you're starting out, it can be pretty difficult to motivate yourself. And if you're struggling with knee, ankle or foot pain, or even shin splints, a good pair of running shoes can help to mitigate all of those. Here are my 3 recommendations at different price points. They are all what you would call a daily trainer, meaning they're all rounded and suitable for your weekly miles. They are designed to be comfortable for easy runs, long runs, and some faster paced workouts. My 3 recommendations would be the Adidas SL2, coming in at around £100, the Asics Nova Blast, slightly more expensive at around £135, and the Nike Zoom Fly at around £155. I would recommend watching a video specifically on each of these shoes before going out and buying any of them. As for clothing and accessories, my recommendation would be to keep it basic. You can pick up workout tees and shorts from brands such as ASOS for dirt cheap, and they're good value for money compared to other fitness brands out there. A slightly more premium option would be to go for something like a Nike Dry Fit top and Flex Stride shorts, but as a beginner, I would use what you already have. Right, let's do a little walk and talk on the way back, shall we? Now, I am 21 years old, 22 in a few weeks. I am a full-time uni student and I have never ever placed a focus on running. Like I mentioned in the intro, I think last autumn was literally the first time ever setting out to do a timed run. Now, obviously when I was younger, I played sports and I still do, but I much prefer going to the gym. Now, I've seen all these fitness addicts and stuff online about all the benefits of running, but that's often the same people who hyperfixate with cold plunges, journaling and all that stuff, which as a 21-year-old uni student doesn't particularly appeal to me. Now, I'm not saying it's in the wrong, but I just associated running with a different crowd. Now, last year it was mentioned to me by a group of friends that the Ibiza half marathon was taking place, which did appeal to me much more. So I thought it's time for a challenge. As I've mentioned in other videos, I really want to make 2025 about taking on as many challenges and trying as many new things as I can. So that's exactly what I did. I signed up towards the end of 2024 thinking, you know what's the worst that can happen? I'd give it a try. The worst that could happen was a 33-minute 5K, which set the bar for me pretty low. So I structured a plan, which we'll get onto soon. And over the course of about 16 weeks, I went from doing a 33 or so minute 5K to just missing out on a sub 2 hour half marathon, which for those fitness addicts is not that impressive, but for me and the average person like you watching this video, I'm gonna guess, that was a pretty big achievement. Anyway, let's head back to the house. Now, the next thing I would do is get some sort of tracker. This is much less important than footwear, but it's still something to consider. Ideally, you want something that tracks your route as well as your time at a minimum. So apps like Strava, Map My Run, and Footpath are all free to download. And as long as you take your phone with you, it tracks everything you need to know. I would recommend personally the free version of Strava, which you can just download on your phone. There is a premium version with a few extra insights, but I don't think it's worth it. If you would prefer a wearable tracker, I use this Whoop band to track all of my exercise, sleep, and recovery. Now, this is not sponsored whatsoever. I absolutely wish it was, but this little band stays on my wrist all the time and measures the strain I'm putting my body under. It also gives me a sleep score at the end of every night to tell me how well recovered I am. Like I say, it's not sponsored whatsoever, but if you are interested, then I will put my referral link in the description. I think if you join through that, then we both get a free month. However, I must stress that any fitness wearable is a complete luxury, and if you don't want to spend money on a Whoop or an Apple Watch, that is completely understandable. I would just stick with the free version of Strava, which you can download on any phone. Now, to really try and fall in love with the sport, you need to have something to aim for. This is exactly the reason why I signed up for the Ibiza Half Marathon last year, to set myself a goal to work towards. My goal was initially just to finish the half marathon, but next time it will be to break sub 2 hours. Nowadays, when I choose to go for a run, it is purely for enjoyment, but to motivate yourself to get started, I would consider aiming to run your first 5K or first time running non-stop for 30 minutes. The BBC and NHS partnered up to create Couch to 5K, which is a basic structured plan to get you to your first 5 kilometers. A park run is something good to aim for too, as they're all 5 kilometers, but if you are a little bit more advanced, I would suggest aiming for something like a sub 1 hour 10K, or if you want to look more long term, aim to complete a half or a full marathon. You could consider raising money for a charitable cause to really keep yourself accountable during your training. It really does just depend where you are in your running journey. Running can be a great way to meet new people through putting yourself out there and joining run clubs or pursuing a fitness goal. There's loads of people out there who are in your shoes. Aiming to increase your weekly distance or intensity is just enough of a plan to begin with. As long as you stay consistent, you will definitely make progress. Mobile apps such as Runner have both free and paid plans which are tailored to you based on your metrics. Now finally, building good habits into your lifestyle will help to improve your overall running performance. This can be as simple as eating a healthy diet or getting 8 hours sleep minimum per night. But the one I want to touch on specifically is stretching. Stretching is the most important thing you can do both before and after a run to avoid injury. Having a dedicated warm-up such as the one on screen now is absolutely essential to help with longevity. The absolute worst thing that could happen in your 10K or marathon preparation is an injury. So spending as little as 5 to 10 minutes before and after the run can make all the difference. So that brings me to the end of the video. If you did enjoy it or find it useful at all, then please drop a like or consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.